Welcome to another episode of Out from the Horrorbox. I'm your foster host, Dom, and in this episode we take a look at the 2025 Australian supernatural horror film, directed by Danny and Michael Philippou, and written by Danny Philippou and Bill Hinzman. A tale about loss and the lengths people will go to not let their memories of loved ones fade away. Bring Her Back. Two step-siblings, after finding their dead dad in the shower, are placed with a grief-stricken foster family in the middle of nowhere. Their foster mother has been conducting an occult ritual to bring her daughter back to life. The Philippous really hit a home run with Talk to Me, and now their follow-up is poised to be great, if not better. And guys, I'm a little sorry that this is taking a little bit of time. My job has kind of moved my days off around, so I'm going to take a week. That's why this took a little bit to come out. And then we're going to get back on schedule. I just needed some time to, get this done, get the next one done, and then maybe get a couple done just so that I could get ahead of myself so I don't run into this problem again. All right. So, but with all that said, let's cross the circle and find if we can bring her back. Following the breakout success with Talk to Me, filmmaking duo Danny and Michael Philippou, the YouTube horror pioneers behind Racka Racka, announced their next original horror project in April 2024. Titled Bring Her Back, the Psycho Biddy-inspired film attracted Academy Award nominee Sally Hawkins, who was from The Shape of Water. That's what she won the Academy Award for. It's an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. I know a lot of people don't like that it won Best Picture, but I love it. She came in for a leading role, with A24 handling worldwide sales. The Philippous had initially been attached to direct a Street Fighter adaptation in 2023, but pivoted to this passion project, penned by Danny Philippou and Bill Hinzman. The South Australian shot film quickly expanded its cast in late May 2024, adding the Midnight Gang's Billy Barrett, newcomer Jonah Wren Phillips, and self-described non-actor Sora Wong, who landed her role after her mother spotted a Facebook casting call. I never even done school plays, Wong told People, but the Philippous wanted raw energy, not polish. Principal photography launched in June 2024 across the brothers' hometown of Adelaide, including the suburb of Lights View. The 41-day shoot marked a homecoming for the directors, who utilized local crews and locations with funding from South Australian Film Corporation and Salmira Productions. Sony Pictures' worldwide acquisition secured international rights, excluding China, Russia, and Japan, in February 2025. And the film debuted via a unique rollout. May 29th, 2025, it would have its Australian premiere through Sony's Stage 6 Films. And then on May 30th, 2025, it would have its U.S. release via A24. Produced by Talk to Me, Samantha Jennings and Krista Satan. Cayan? I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Through Causeway Films. Bring Her Back blends the Philippous signature visceral horror with influences from classic hagsploitation films. And guys, we really just need to get into it and talk about it. So, here we go.
How did you cope with Piatti being gone?
I didn't. Is this their new sister and brother, Oliver? Oliver lost his family just like you guys. He Need someone that can keep in special care. Listen, I gotta tell you a secret. Listen. It's like a little angel. It's a beautiful angel. It does beautiful things. Listen. 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 Some people believe the spirit stays in the body for months after death. It's working! We can bring her back. Listen.
After discovering their father dead in the shower, his body ravaged by chemotherapy complications, teenager Andy, played by Billy Barrett, and his visually impaired younger stepsister, Piper, played by Sora Wong, are placed into foster care with Laura, who was played by Sally Hawkins, a woman still grieving the drowning of her own blind daughter, Kathy, who was played by Misha Haywood. Though Laura seems kind at first, her unsettling favoritism toward Piper and the eerie silence of her other foster child, Oliver, put Andy on edge. Oliver is played by Jonah Wren Phillips. At their father's funeral, Laura tells Andy that spirits linger in the dead, then secretly clips a lock of the corpse's hair. That night, Andy confesses his resentment towards Piper. Their father abused him but doted on her. Laura's eyes darken with longing. "I'd give anything to hear Mom again," she murmurs. Soon after, Andy witnesses Oliver mutilating himself with a knife. When he tries to carry the boy past a mysterious white circle surrounding the house, Oliver convulses violently. Laura rushes in, calming him with a ritualistic head rub, a technique straight from a cult's VHS tape. For a fleeting moment, Oliver pleads for help before Laura forces him to eat the stolen hair, silencing him once more. The horrors escalate. Andy hallucinates that his father's ghost in the shower, knocking himself unconscious. While he's hospitalized, Laura takes Piper to an outbuilding freezer, where Kathy's preserved corpse lies waiting. The cult tapes reveal the truth. Oliver is a possessed vessel meant to consume the dead and regurgitate them into a freshly killed body. Laura plans to drown Piper, replicating Kathy's death to resurrect her. But when Oliver, now monstrous and bloated, turns on Laura, Andy races to expose her, discovering Oliver is actually Connor Bird, a missing child. In the final confrontation, Laura runs down Andy and their social worker, Wendy, played by Sally Ann Upton, with her car, drowning Andy in a rain puddle. She drags Piper to the pool, but when the girl screams, "Mom," Laura's resolve shatters. Piper escapes as Oliver collapses, freed from the demon. Police arrive to find Laura cradling Kathy's corpse in the water, whispering to the daughter she couldn't bear to lose. Now let's move on to some trivia about the film Bring Her Back and learn some things about the behind the scenes, the production, and the actors. When a possessed Oliver grabs a butcher knife and tries to eat it, leaving his mouth a bloody, scraggly toothed disaster. In that sequence, a rubber knife was used with the fake head model. Afterwards, he bites a chunk of the kitchen countertop, taking out huge pieces with what's left of his teeth, and all this is like very hard to watch. I'll talk about it in my final thoughts, but it's pretty gruesome. The filmmakers let Phillips go to town on super soft, custom made balsa wood laced with chocolate. Michael Philippou said that the only traumatic part of the sequence was watching his brother enhance the sound effects by actually biting objects. In the sound design, Danny was actually chewing on a knife. He's like chewing noises, muffled voice. It's got to sound real. And the table, he was biting the table. It was one of those things, you hear the sound effect, you're like, that sounds like a sound effect, Danny recalled. I was like, yeah, give me a knife. The Philippous had on-set coaches for the child actors to help them navigate the more emotional scenes. And Jonah Ray Phillips' parents, both actors themselves, were also present to work with him. Mostly the directors say viewers shouldn't be worried about Phillips coming away from the movie traumatized with the gory moments. We were doing the ADR and he loved it. And Danny said in the theater Q&A, he was like, "Oh, more blood," Michael added. He's like, "There needs to be more blood in this movie. There's a lot, Jonah." Danny further explained. And, oh my God, yeah, like, the scene is, like, that scene when he's biting the table, and it's like that, the sound effects really, I would say, really make it and enhance it and make it like so hard to watch. And yeah, I'm glad that like they incorporated the kids and they let them know, they understand that, it's just a movie, and like the kids are also involved and understanding, like when they're doing these like gory scenes, like him saying, "Oh, we need more blood, we need more blood." And it's like, there's enough blood. There's a lot of blood. And they understand that, like they're not really getting harmed, they're not really anything like that, which is good because, I don't know, I feel like some kids could come away from this because I know like sometimes with some child actors you have to pretend that you're on a different kind of movie altogether. I think they did that with the kid from The Shining who played Danny. I think he thought he was in like some kind of other film, like a happier family film, and then like years later when he watched it, he was like, "Whoa, what was I in? Wow, I didn't know I was in like such a like a crazy movie. Didn't know that this was all what was going on." Obviously, you're trying to keep all that from like a little kid, but yeah, I'm like the sound effects. I think add and make usually will make a scene good and what it is. Like there's times where I'm editing and I'm like, how, God, is this even gonna work? And then you put in the sounds and you put in the things and then all of a sudden it like clicks together and it's like, oh shit, yeah, it does sound, it does sound pretty good. It does work really well. Sora Wong had zero experience acting professionally before she was cast in this film. Her mother came across the casting call on Facebook looking for a visually impaired girl. Wong was born with coloboma and microphthalmia. I'm pronouncing all that incorrectly, but whatever. Which left her with limited eyesight. And honestly, though, it doesn't feel like this is her first film. It feels like she's been acting for a while. Like she does a really good job playing this like part, but I think she played it like herself. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know her, but it feels like she really understood like what needed to be done with the character and because she comes off very like innocent and very like fun and very youthful and like like she's really you can really tell like that her and her, even though it's her stepbrother, they have a good relationship even through like the things that they've done. And when she starts believing like he's like turning back into like how he used to be, she like you could just feel it. And like she does a really great job, I think, for her very first time. I think especially standing up with someone like Sally Hawkins, who does a really good job here. And especially obviously she's won an Academy Award for it, but she like here in this role, I think she did a pretty good job of playing that crazy, desperate person that she that's kind of explained in like with the story. I think she holds her own with her. Like she's able to, I think, play that like I said, like that innocent, like young kid, like who's just like, oh my family, my father just died, or my stepdad or whatever, and you know I, I'm so grieving, but I'm trying to make the best of everything, and I think she does a really good job. I'd love to see her in like other work, and see if she does a pretty good job there. But yeah, like honestly, I think she's a highlight of the film, one of the highlights of the film. Honestly. Michael Philippou reveals that they considered a few different endings, including one where Kathy actually did end up in Piper's body, but a bigger, scarier planned finale was scrapped when their friend died, and it switched to a more emotional one. The end of the movie includes a dedication to Harley Wallace. Death is really unfair and it's really sudden. People don't get a resolution. Danny Philippou said. Harley died at 22, 23. The story wasn't finished. The film's ending goes against the conventions a little bit, but it feels more true to life. And I actually do applaud them because I thought they were going to do that. That's what I thought was going to happen. It was going to kind of be like a skeleton key kind of thing. And I was I was a little disappointed if it would have gone that way, just because I was really rooting for Piper to be the type of character that would be able to to get um Laura to stop, right, to get her to stop what she's doing, and like see that like the things that she's been doing is are outrageous, and like Kathy wouldn't want this, and I think that I some it's kind of sad because it's like, yeah, I mean, you never want your friends to die, but sometimes some things happen in life, major things happen that will derail you, yeah, like emotionally, or like in your mind, or the way you're thinking of things or doing things, and sometimes it completely changes the way you have to look at things. You have to do things and I'm glad that they didn't try and do like the Hollywood thing of a bigger, scarier thing, a finale where like they blow up the whole house, or like do all this, do that. I like this kind of more subdued, more emotional ending where like, yeah, sure, Andy didn't survive, but Piper ended up because she was able to use and utilize, Laura's like emotional state and her mind and being, and when she says mom, and it makes her really like think like, what am I doing? What why have I've come so far? I've literally killed people to get to this point, and is this the point that I want to be at? But we'll talk about it a little bit more in my final thoughts. But it is kind of sad, when something like that happens. Philip revealed that they found a small way to tie their breakthrough hit "Talk to Me" with this film where they exist in the same world. They hint that something is coming soon that will tease that connection. It all happens on this one street, Michael quips. Don't buy a house in that neighborhood, Danny warns, laughing. The demons that possess people and talk to me are predatory spirits and lost souls. But in Bring Her Back, Laura says it's an angel that's in Oliver, and the Philippous tend to agree. Oliver is not good or bad, Michael says. He's committing this miracle. He's bringing back a lost loved one. Also, he's not there with evil intentions, Danny adds. He's like a genie in a bottle. You rub the lamp, and he's going to come out. And I think I know what they're talking about. This like connection, like the connection. There's I think they're going to show that this is part of like a larger cinematic universe. Talk to Me, bring her back. Whatever we know that there's going to be a prequel to Talk to Me, and I think a sequel to Talk to Me. There's an ADR. What do you call it? ARG. There's an ARG right now going around called my friend just sent it to me the other day. Give me a second. Called Black Angel Tape. And on there's like a listing for things that people are wanting to sell. And one of them is a embalmed hand. And then another one is there's some tapes for how to bring people back. And so, and like when you search through, there's it's very disturbing. Kind of looks like a what do you call it, the dark web type of stuff. And like there's a lot of different things listed on there. So I'm wondering if maybe at some point we'll get like an anthology story, or we'll get like stories that come from those different things that are listed. Who knows? I mean, honestly, I could see it be a bunch of different things, a bunch of crazy different things coming from that. It's like honestly, I highly recommend it. It's the Black Angel Tapes. Go on there, .net. Go on there, try check it out. It's very like early internet's kind of and like it's pretty creepy. At first, I was like, "What are you sending me?" And then I clicked on it, and I'm like looking through. I'm like, "Oh, I get it. I gotta like look into this more. I'll probably look into it a little bit more, and hopefully, like it ties things together. It starts giving us more. So yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, or you haven't looked into it, and maybe I'll do an episode on it or two. I don't know. But for now, let's move on to the kill counter. Kill counter. We arrive at the kill counter, the part of the podcast where we go through the kills and deaths in the film. And, for being, a very disturbing film, just like I would say on the level of like Talk to Me, it's not as disturbing as some other movies I've seen, but this one I think really goes out of its way to do some things that like really fucked me up. But it doesn't really have that many kills, but we'll go into the ones that are shown, and we'll see in like some flashbacks. But to start off, towards the beginning of the film, we see Phil, who is the stepfather of Piper, and it's Andy's dad. They find him on the floor after falling out of the shower. He had hit his head. Well, we don't see that part, but we know that like from the blood on the floor, like he must have hit his head. But he's also like riddled with like chemotherapy. Like his body's like, you can tell like it has been through some kind of trauma. And that's probably why he fell. He probably slipped and fell from being, out of energy or exhausted, and that's how he died. Then later we get a flashback where we see Kathy, who through the tapes we understand that she loved playing in the pool. And what I assume is she must have like slipped and maybe like hit her head or something. We know that like something happened to her to cause her to fall into the pool, and then obviously she drowned from there, and that's when Laura like tries to do what she does. In the VHS tapes that Laura gets, we do see that there's a unnamed person who gets hung or hanged, and we don't really know who they are, but obviously they're hanged for a reason. I think they're putting either they're using that body to, I think they're using that as a vessel to put to use as part of the ritual to put the soul of the person that they're trying to bring back into. We do see that, like, where they start like talking like the person. It's creepy. That whole thing is like, really unsettling. And then towards the end, after Andy's finally convinced Wendy, the lady who's the social worker, to finally go and check everything out. Because he's been saying how like the little kid Oliver is actually that one kid Connor, and that like she's like hitting Piper and he's blaming it on him. And so then by the time they get all the way back to the house, and Sally Hawkins, Laura, she's like cleaned everything up. She's like taking a shower, and like she got bit by Oliver because he like turned on her, or like it's like waiting to like feed or whatever the demon thing is inside of him is, it like turns on her and like bites her really bad. But like Wendy, she gets down, she goes into the house, she like checks everything out, and she's like, huh, everything seems okay. I just don't get it. And that's when Andy finds like the blood trail and like leading to like the shed, and he goes into the shed or the outhouse or whatever it is, and he goes in there, and that's when he finds Kathy's body in the freezer. And that's when he like starts shouting for Wendy, and like she starts becoming concerned, and because Laura then starts acting weird, like not wanting her to go here or there, not check this out, or she's like, well, where's Oliver and this and that, blah blah blah. And then she ends up like taking she has a towel wrapped around her hand. That's where Oliver bit her, or Connor or whatever. That's where they bit her. And so then she like pushes her hand, but like she reveals like she's like cut and bleeding. Oh, because she sees like she has blood on her too, and then she like tries to stop Wendy, and like Wendy's like, now she's like freaking out because she understands like something's up, something's happening. So Wendy leaves, and she's going outside to check on what Andy's found, and that's when Laura comes crashing through because they're trying to get into the car, Wendy and Andy, to her car, but she like hits not just their car, she hits and kind of like hits Andy, but runs completely over Wendy, killing her. And then Andy's laying there in the rain, and there's just a puddle by him, and then he's like trying to get back up, and Laura comes over and turns his head into the puddle and gently pushes his head down, and until he stops fighting and he dies. And it's kind of like, God damn, that was fucked up. So in total, there's like, I'd say like 5 deaths and kills in this. So it's not a lot, but they can be a little brutal and a little disturbing at points. So I guess I give them credit for that. I mean, not all films have to have like a crazy excessive amount of deaths or kills or anything like that, but I think if you can do it right like this, it really hits harder. But let's just get straight into my final thoughts on the film. All right, so this one, bring her back. Man, I really hadn't seen anything too much until like maybe a couple months, maybe a month ago, maybe a little bit before, but not really. I hadn't really seen anything about it too much. Talk to Me, I had heard a lot. There was a lot of buzz about Talk to Me coming, that it was like the scariest movie of that year. It was the best horror movie of that year. Coming from like these guys who just did like YouTube videos, and now that one was great. Talk to Me was actually really good. I really liked that one a lot. It was very interesting. And then we get this. We get Bring Her Back. And just from the moment you get into it has like it starts off with like you watch some of the tape of the ritual that the whatever those people cult maybe they are, who knows what they are, of like the ritual that they're performing with the circle and demon or whatever, or spirits or something, and it's just very unsettling, and I think it's great, like that they can unsettle me like that bad. I'm so like, it's with horror movies, I don't get scared a lot, or anything like that, but if you're really able to unsettle me with something like that, it feels very snuff film, very like real, very raw, very like you could, like someone could be like, hey, you want to watch this tape, and then they put it in, and it's like, oh God, what are we watching? I don't know, but it's somewhere like in Eastern Europe or in South America, or it's here in America, like some rundown building that like they're performing this ritual in, and it's so disturbing, and we see it later too in the film, and God, these guys are just so good. They're like, they really knocked it out of the park. Honestly, you know what? I think I like this a lot more than Talk to Me. Talk to Me was really good. Talk to Me, you know, I thought the acting was really spot on, the direction, the story, just everything about it, you know, was really good. I think though this one, this is just such a great follow up. Like I can't say more than that. Like I don't know, like it's so hard to not only give us something really good the first time, but then to give us something really good the second time. It's really hard to do, especially when you got so much buzz coming off of that first one. Um, Not everyone can get you like, man, this, like, it's just like, now I want to see what they do more. I want to see like what more do they build with this world, because obviously I like that it's like very like, you, if you said that this was not tied to Talk to Me, I would believe it. But if you said that, hey, like the next one's going to tell us how they're tied together, I'd believe it too. Like that's what I like about this, is that like it's very its own thing. It's very like much its own world, but like if it was brought into the world of Talk to Me, I would not be mad. I would not be mad at all. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense, because that's kind of like what happens with Talk to Me, where the brother, is it her brother, the girl's brother, all those like invading souls are trying to possess him, and you know they essentially have to sedate him to get it so that he's not feeling that pain that from them. And in this, like, there's something possessing the kid, and we're to assume it's a demon that can transfer the vessel from of the girl's soul who's died into the new host body that has to be killed in order to put the soul in there. And it's just like, man, it's just, and then oh my God, the scene with the knife, oh God, it's just like, it's like they want you to feel like, ooh, it's like when you in a movie when you see someone like step on like something sharp, right? It's like you can feel it. Ooh. And it's just like he goes to town on that knife, and it's just, you just see, oh God, like biting down into that knife, and it's just like, oh man, like you just, it's like there's a scene in Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2, the one from I think from 80 or 81, something, somewhere around there, where like the kid is coming to the hospital with his mom, and like he like bit into something, and it like he's like bleeding from his mouth, and that always disturbed me because it's like God, just imagining anything in it, like cutting your mouth or just oh my God, and then like the teeth coming out, and you're like oh my God, and then later when he's biting on the table and taking out chunks of the it's just like of the tabletop or whatever it is, the countertop, and it's like oh God, just picturing just anything like with your teeth and like, and then like when the demon leaves his body, so that must fucking hurt like hell, like as a little kid, like then the police find him and everything. It's just like God damn, dude, like why? God, and the acting is great. The acting is so Sally Hawkins is an amazing actress. She does a great job here, like playing that like very crazy manic like energy of like you can't tell if like is she being sinister here? Is she being nice? Is she being truthful? Is she like just the little things she does here and there? It's just like and the length she's going just because she wants to get her kid back and like what she wants, and it's just like this whole elaborate plan of trying to get just this one kid so she can put her dead kid soul into this. And then like I want to like I love that it's like the world is built subtly and without too much information, but it's like where did she get these tapes? Where did she find them? And then you got to question like is it that Black Angel website? Is it like so like is that something that's in this world that she found it? Because if you go on to that ARG on the website, you see that there's like somebody like asking questions in the comments because there's like comments, quote unquote, of like people asking questions about the items. I think one of them is like supposed to be her character, like asking about it, and uh, God, just they're just so. It's like I just want to see more of like of that world of like this weird strangeness of like like what is it? Like why are they filming this? Well, I mean, obviously it's this ritual, and they're trying to bring somebody back and show you how to do it. But like, how did they find this out? Right? Like, what led them to this? What led her to find this? Like, I know she's like desperate and stuff, but man, and then the kid actors are really good. Sometimes they can be iffy here and there, but Sora Wong for her first movie, great job, great job. I mean, she plays blind, like I mean she's blind and partially blind in real life, so she does a good job. Like she plays a character of. I feel like what she really did was she just took herself and was like, I'm just gonna play a version of myself. And I think God, Andy, I don't remember the guy's name, whatever. He does a pretty good job too. I don't think I've seen him in anything else. The kid who plays Oliver or Connor or whatever you want, Jonah, that kid, he does a pretty good job too. Like what he has to go through too, and like just like there's times where he's just like banging, and then oh God, he like cuts his hand too at one point. It's just like oh God, dude, oh, and he's just trying to like get into like the freezer because I think the demon has to eat like dead things because she feeds him like the hairs from like the dead dad, and that like satiates the demon, and then like she lets him eat part of her the girl's dead corpse. Yeah, and honestly, I wasn't seeing because like there was parts where like it was like like he had a premonition from like the dad about like don't go out in the rain, and I think he thought it was about her Piper going into the rain, but it was actually I think him. He was telling Andy like I think he was trying to tell him like don't go out, like because then that's what ended up happening. He's like when Laura hits him and Wendy and kills Wendy, by just running her over. She hits him, but like he's like still alive. But she comes over and just like puts his face into the puddle and kills him a la Glass. If you've seen Glass, you know what I mean. Um, man, this movie is just so good. Like there's enough gore from what we see with like the knife and like the dead girl's body, and then from the tapes that's enough. Like it is like they're really good at like when they show you this stuff, it's rough, like it's raw, and it's enough to be like, okay, you don't need to give me anything else because that was like it's unsettling, like it's very unsettling, and it's a great follow up to Talk to Me. It's a it's just a great standalone movie. Like I didn't even need to talk about Talk to Me at all for this movie to be great on its own. Like to me, it kind of reminds me of like if I'm going off of like something that's just like, oh, this was the first one and it was good, great maybe, and then they gave you a sequel that was just like, and it's not even a sequel. It's just a story that may or may not be tied to this because it's like there really is nothing that ties this to that movie. It's just we understand from the context of it, I guess, is that like maybe this is supposed to be similar, a world that's similar or something. And I think like Cloverfield, like 10 Cloverfield Lane is just a standout film. That movie is so good. And it's way better than Cloverfield. Like Cloverfield is good. But I think 10 Cloverfield Lane honestly was a great film. It was like its own thing. It didn't even need to have that reference to Cloverfield. Even if you took out that, like the title of Cloverfield, you wouldn't even know that it's connected to that at all. You wouldn't even need that connection. But yeah, these guys, they need to do something else. Honestly, I would love to have seen like their Street Fighter film. I would love to see how they would have done that. But damn, I want like either give me a sequel to Talk to Me or a prequel, something that connects it, or maybe, or give me another film that's like that is its own thing, but still like feels like it's the same world, same place that these are like they said like that we're gonna get something soon that from them that's gonna tie things together, and it's just like, God, man, this was just so good, and I love that. I'd love to explore this. This universe is very interesting, if it is tied together with it. And I know I'm like this is all just speculation too. I mean, I'm telling you like there's this ARG that ties it together, but that's also like outside of the movie. So like for those people who like to just be well, movie should just stand on its own, right? You shouldn't have to look at other things or read other things to be, for it to be good. And this movie does that. This is stellar. I think I give it 4 stars. I want to give it 5 stars, but should I? Maybe 4.5. 4.5 stars. God, this was just so good. I mean, so far, like, it's been, like, Sinners is the best film, I think, best film of the year so far. For horror films, that one's still number 1. I would say that maybe this would be, like, number 2, because Companion was really good, and The Monkey was really good. I remember what else has come out. I've seen Cloud in a Cornfield was okay. But yeah, I mean, we're on track for some pretty good ones this year. Again, like last year, we had some really good ones with Long Legs and all that, and The Substance, Nosferatu. But we're really chugging along. So like, I want to see what we get later this year. Maybe something that might be better than this. I doubt it. I can't wait for this to be on physical media for me to get. It's just so good. Highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it and you're listening to this, while you're listening to it, go watch it. I just spoiled like everything. So go watch it. What would you do if you were in a foster home? Would you ask more questions about the strange silent kid? Would you give up your body to be a vessel for a dead blind girl? I know I wouldn't. We want to thank you all for listening, and if you like what you hear, please subscribe to get every new episode downloaded. Do you have any personal or fictional, paranormal, supernatural, or unexplainable stories? We'd love to read them on the podcast. Please send your stories, recommendations, or anything else to horrorboxpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to show more support, you can follow our socials on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, or check out our YouTube channel, all at Horrorbox Podcast on all sites. Also, you can buy me coffee at coffee.com/horrorboxpodcast. It really helps out. Until next time, maybe don't use children as a vessel for your dead daughter? This is Dom, signing off from the Horrorbox.
Yeah. Careful. Just take the fruit, Ollie. Okay, I'm gonna get your plate. Oh, Laura, yelling at me. Making a mess.
Ollie! Hey, Ollie!